There are moments in life when silence feels louder than any scream, when the betrayal cuts so deep that even time struggles to heal it. You've been wronged in ways words can't capture. They walked away like nothing happened, as if your pain was disposable, as if your loyalty was forgettable. And as days passed with no justice, no apology, and no recognition of your truth, you may have wondered if the universe simply looked the other way. But what if the silence wasn't neglect? What if it was part of something greater, something divine? Because when justice comes from above, it doesn't need an audience. God doesn't send warnings, and he doesn't need applause. His revenge is not loud, it's deliberate, and most of all, it's undeniable. Silent justice is not absence. It's precision in the aftermath of deep betrayal or emotional pain. One of the most haunting feelings is the apparent silence from the universe. You look around and wonder why those who wronged you seem untouched. Why is there no consequence? Why does it feel like the one who caused harm gets to live in peace while you're left to wrestle with the weight of what they did? It's a question many carry in their hearts but never voice out loud. The absence of justice can feel like abandonment, but that absence is often misunderstood. Silence, especially divine silence, is not evidence that justice has been denied. It's evidence that justice is being crafted with a precision far beyond human understanding. When God steps back, it's not because he is absent. It's because he is aligning everything to deliver what is exact, not just what is immediate. While people expect justice to be loud, visible, and instant, the truth is, the most profound forms of justice arrive unnoticed, yet they leave nothing untouched. What looks like delay is often divine design. Think about the process of building something intricate, a bridge, a temple, a masterpiece. None of it happens overnight. Precision takes time. Every wrong move has to be measured. Every hidden intention needs to surface. Every lie, every mask, every false perception must unravel, and that takes longer than we would like. But when it finally unfolds, it leaves no space for denial. That's how divine justice operates. It's never rushed because it's never wrong. This is where many lose heart. In their pain, they believe they are forgotten. They see the offender laughing, living, thriving, and they think, maybe there are no consequences, but the universe is never late. God is never indifferent. That silence you feel is the pause before the echo, the quiet before the shift, the stillness before the scales balance out. It is not a sign that justice is lost. It is a sign that it is being sharpened. Many times, the ones who hurt you will never face public consequences, and maybe that's what's most difficult. You wanted them to feel what they did to you. You wanted the world to see it, but divine justice doesn't function to entertain or prove a point. It serves a higher purpose, to restore balance, not to satisfy ego. That's why when it strikes, it often does so behind closed doors. It finds people where their fears hide. It touches what they value the most. So if you're in that place where you feel unseen and unheard, remind yourself, what is quiet isn't empty. What is delayed isn't denied. Silent justice is not weakness. It is wisdom in motion. You are not forgotten. You are not left behind. You are simply being preserved while precision takes its full course. Moral arrogance has a price. There is a quiet kind of arrogance that hides beneath betrayal. It is not always loud or obvious. It doesn't always come with prideful words or visible cruelty. Sometimes it shows itself in the way someone believes they can walk away from what they've done and never be held accountable. It reveals itself in the confidence that says, "I won't face consequences because I got away with it. But what many forget is this. Just because judgment is not instant does not mean it will not arrive. This kind of moral arrogance grows when people believe that silence is approval. They interpret the lack of punishment as freedom. They confuse divine patience with permission, but time doesn't erase truth. It only reveals it more clearly, and in time, what was hidden becomes undeniable. When someone wrongs you and walks away without remorse, they begin to build their life on a foundation that was stolen. And anything built on that kind of ground does not stand forever. The belief that one can harm another, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and still flourish with no cost is a belief built on illusion. Life has a natural law that cannot be bypassed. Every action, especially those taken against another soul, creates a ripple. You may not see it today, but it moves silently beneath the surface. That ripple becomes a wave. And when it returns not to punish, but to teach. People often think justice is about revenge, but divine justice is about correction. It doesn't always come in the form of pain. Sometimes it comes in the form of emptiness, regret, or loss. It may arrive when they least expect it, when they've built the life they thought they always wanted, only to realize it has no meaning. That is the cost of moral arrogance, the belief that one can harm and still remain whole. It's important to remember that those who betray you are not just fighting you. They are setting themselves against something greater. They are acting out of a belief that truth can be manipulated, and people can be used without consequence. But when truth is challenged, it always rises again. When integrity is dismissed, life finds a way to restore it, even if it takes time. So if you've been hurt by someone who shows no remorse, don't let their silence convince you that justice has forgotten. Don't let their appearance of success blind you to the reality of consequence, because success built on harm never lasts, and peace built on dishonesty eventually turns to unrest. Let them walk in their pride. Let them believe the story ends the way they wrote it, because life and God have a different kind of pen, one that writes slowly but never misses a line. In time, they will come face to face with what they planted. And they will learn moral arrogance always carries a price. You are not meant to be the judge when someone wrongs you deeply, whether through betrayal, lies, or emotional neglect. The most natural reaction is the desire for justice. You want to see them face what they caused. You want the pain they gave you to somehow return to them. It feels only fair. It feels right. But here's the hard truth that maturity and spiritual growth reveal. You are not meant to carry the weight of judgment. The instinct to strike back, to expose, to prove your pain by watching them suffer while human, is a burden that doesn't heal you. In fact, it damages you more, because in becoming judge, you lose your own peace. You begin to build your life around the pursuit of someone else's correction, and in doing so, you postpone your own healing. There is a difference between justice and revenge. Justice restores balance. Revenge seeks to satisfy hurt with more hurt. And while the world often celebrates revenge as strength, true strength lies in restraint. It takes far more courage to release your pain into the hands of a higher justice than to try to control the outcome yourself. You may think forgiveness means forgetting what happened, but that's not the case. Forgiveness does not erase the wrong, it frees you from its grip. It's a choice to step away from the courtroom of your own mind, where you constantly replay their actions and rehearse the judgment they deserve. That courtroom will keep you stuck in cycles of bitterness, and bitterness never heals. It only hardens. When you let go of the role of judge, something powerful happens. You reclaim your energy. You refocus your spirit. You stop giving space in your heart to someone who has already taken too much. And most importantly, you begin to allow life, divinely guided life, to do what it does best, return what was sown, not because you demanded it, but because truth has a rhythm. It always returns, in its own time, in its own way. It is not weakness to walk away from judgment. It is wisdom. It is a deeper understanding that says, I am not the one who must make this right. I trust that justice belongs to something greater than me. That trust is not passive. It is powerful, because it means you've placed your pain into hands that never forget, and that never act without purpose. So when your heart aches for justice, remember this. Your healing is not tied to their punishment. Your freedom is not found in their suffering. It's found in your decision to live beyond the wound, to grow in a direction that no longer includes them, to become someone who no longer waits for apologies, but who finds peace in progress. Let them go, not because they were right, but because you choose to be free, and let justice come in its time, not through your hands, but through the hands of the one who sees everything, even what the world missed. God's response is timeless, but never late. One of the most difficult seasons in life is the one where you feel forgotten by justice. When you've been wronged, misjudged, or betrayed, and the ones responsible continue on as if nothing happened, it can make you question everything. It feels as though time is moving, but truth is standing still. You pray, you wait, and you wonder, does God really see what they did? And if he does, why hasn't he done anything? This is where many lose their way, not because justice didn't exist, but because it didn't come when they expected it. In our world, we are conditioned to expect quick results, fast answers, immediate resolution, but the sacred doesn't follow the pace of impatience. God doesn't rush justice just to satisfy your timeline. His response is not based on emotion. It's built on perfect timing, and that timing is rarely what we imagine. The delay in justice is not a denial of it. It's part of the precision that makes it complete. God doesn't just address actions. He addresses hearts, and hearts take time to reveal what they truly carry. When someone wrongs you, it's not just the act that's weighed. It's the motive behind it, the pride that fueled it, and the arrogance that refuses to acknowledge it afterward. Those deeper layers can't be judged in haste. They are exposed slowly through the unfolding of life itself. There's also something sacred about not witnessing their downfall. It protects you, because watching someone suffer, even if they've hurt you, can harden you if you're not ready. You are not built to carry both your healing and their judgment at the same time. That's why God often separates the two. He lifts you in one direction, while their life begins to unravel quietly in another. And unravel it does. You may not see it. You may never hear about it, but consequences always arrive, not because you demanded them, but because truth demands balance. What a person sends into the world, especially when it wounds another soul, eventually returns. And when it does, it doesn't come with announcements. It comes exactly when it's meant to, and exactly how it needs to. Meanwhile, your journey requires faith in that process. Not blind belief, but deep-rooted trust that what's meant for correction will be corrected, and what's meant for growth will be given to you. You are not left behind while justice sleeps. You are being led forward while justice quietly prepares. So, when you feel like time is passing without answers, remember this: God is never unaware. His silence isn't avoidance, it's preparation. His delays are not indifference, they are divine orchestration. He is working in places you cannot see, touching what you cannot reach and answering in ways far greater than your expectations. Justice may not come when you want it, but when it comes, it will be whole. It will be right, and it will be exactly on time. You're not forgotten. You're being protected. When someone hurts you deeply and walks away without remorse, it can feel like you're left in the shadows, forgotten, abandoned, and overlooked by both people and heaven. You replay the moments, you question your worth, and you ask yourself if what you endured even mattered to anyone beyond your own heart. That pain, compounded by silence, is heavy, but silence does not mean you're forgotten. Sometimes it means you're being protected. There are things we often want in our pain. We want closure, we want justice, we want answers. We want to see that those who caused harm face the results of their actions. And while those desires are natural, the truth is, being protected sometimes means not being given what you think you need in the moment. Not because it isn't deserved, but because there is something more important at stake: your healing. Healing requires space. It needs distance from what broke you. Sometimes, if we saw how others were being dealt with, it would draw us back into old wounds. We would become reattached to the pain, distracted by the fall of those who once mistreated us. But life doesn't want you to live in the past. It doesn't want your energy to remain fixed on who wronged you. It wants to pull you forward, away from what shattered you, and into what can rebuild you. This kind of protection is quiet. It's not flashy or loud. It's the unseen kind, the kind that removes people without explanation, the kind that ends connections even when you still feel attached, the kind that makes you sit in silence so you can finally hear your own soul speak again. It's uncomfortable, but it's intentional. When you are being protected, you may not feel victorious at first. In fact, it might feel like loss. But over time, you begin to realize you were saved from deeper harm. You were removed from battles that weren't yours to fight. You were guarded from consequences that weren't yours to carry. And more than anything, you were redirected from trying to fix what wasn't meant to be repaired. You are not forgotten in your pain. You are being protected for your purpose. God sees every tear, every silent prayer, and every moment of confusion. He knows the truth behind the masks others wore in your life. He understands why the separation had to happen the way it did, even if you didn't. And while you wait for things to make sense, He is already rebuilding you in the quiet. While you feel left behind, He is preparing you to rise stronger. So trust the silence, trust the space, trust that you are not alone, even when no one seems to see your side. What you thought was rejection was really redirection. What felt like silence was actually shielding. And what seemed like being forgotten was God's way of placing you where no further harm could reach you. You're not lost, you're being led, and you're not broken, you're being preserved.